Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Ultra hardware number 35595. This is a box of two double-acting spring hinges in a brass sprayed finish, 4-inch steel base. So 35595 specifically means that you're going to get a box of two of these hinges. Okay. You're going to get a package of screws, and you'll get a tension rod. You will get the tension pins, which will be usually already installed into the tension collars. 4-inch, and we're just dissecting the part number right now, forgive me. 4-inch means it's actually critical that this hinge is going to work with doors between 7/8 of an inch and 1.25 inches in the thickness. Thinner than that, not really going to work. Thicker than that, again, not really going to work. You're limited to how much of a door you can fit into this pocket. Sure, I've had people come and route the face of their door so they could get the hinge up over the edge of the door. Anything smaller than 3/4 inch, 7/8 means you're not going to get the door to hang in the axial center line of the hinge, which is crucial in order to get the door to be in the center of the hinge and the opening and swinging properly. 4-inch, that's what that means. It's also a reference to the height of the barrel. Really less critical to know that, but 4-inch specifically means 7/8 inch and 1/4. Box of two, we discussed that. Steel based, it's made of steel, and it's got this sort of satin brass sort of sprayed finish. Very attractive sort of brass, typical. You're going to see this sort of hinge installed in service doors between a kitchen and a dining area. You're going to see them installed in cash wrap doors, little half doors in your gas station, in your coffee shop, places of that nature. Residential applications as well could certainly use this. You'd probably be at a 5-inch because that'll get you up to the 1 3/8 thick door. 6-inch would get you up to the 1 3/4 thick door, and Ultra has those, as well as a 3-inch, which would be for a slightly smaller door. So when you buy one, you're going to get a box of two. Keep that in mind. Now, you might need 3 hinges, and if that's the case and you'd be buying 4, you might need to have 2 hinges at the top and 1 at the bottom. But generally, for a standard sort of door, 1 hinge at the top, 1 at the bottom is how you'll be. Pairs of doors, same sort of situation. Setting this is actually quite easy. You'll use the included tension rod, and you'll turn it clockwise, and you can then literally pull that pin out. So I'm just going to gently drop it onto my desktop here. Don't lose it. Then this whole flange is freewheeling. Okay. Same procedure with the other tension collar. You would only set this by turning the tension collar clockwise, and as you do, you reveal new additional holes, and it's into one of those new holes that you would insert the tension pin. So I'll stick that back in there where it belongs. Okay. So when you're going about installing this, and there is a link below this video to the installation instructions, you'll remove the tension on the barrels, on your tension collars. Take those pins, put them in your pocket or somewhere safe so as not to lose them. If you were to use them, you could certainly get like a 4-penny or a 6-penny nail into there, but who wants to try to source a nail and snip it to length? So you're going to want to attach your jam flange to the frame. I'm going to remove both of these tensions collars. Okay. You're going to want to attach your frame leaf to the jam. You're going to want to get it so that it is in the axial center of the frame as well. The instructions call for the door leaf to be mortised such that this turned out lip at the top and bottom is flush with the edge of the door. And that would be a standard, typical sort of installation. What they're really not giving you is any dimensions on this sort of installation. So depending on the thickness of the door, the margin that you leave between the edge of the door, well, the edge of the door margin will be accomplished when you mortise it such that this is flush. But on the other side, you're going to want to be about a 1/4 inch margin because you've got a cased opening frame and then you've got a square edge door and you need to have clearance for that square edge door. Okay. If you were to want to decrease the margin between the edge of the door and the jamb, you could easily do, well, you could do so, maybe not easily, by doing a bull nose on both faces of the door. Okay, on the push side of the door, the push plate side, the opposite of the hinge side, you could bull nose that entire style, turn the door over, bull nose that entire style. And then, because you're taking the outside sharp 90-degree corners off the edge of that door, you can achieve a much tighter margin, about 1/8 of an inch, actually. And that margin would more closely resemble the margin over on the hinge side. Now, the truth of the matter is, when you see these installed, you rarely are going to notice the detail of a tighter margin versus a little bit wider margin. However, I do. Being a door hardware salesman, I notice that all the time. The majority of installations are certainly just square edge doors where that margin is a 3/8 of an inch, let's say. Not a critical dimension for a lot of people. You also can surface mount this as well. That would certainly be permissible. You're going to achieve a greater dimension over here, about 1/4 inch, and you have to compensate, you know, the other side based on that being a 1/4 inch or so. The point being, if you had a 36-inch wide opening and you knew you were going to lose a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch, you know your door width has got to be about 35.5, about that. I'd be probably about 35 5/8, test my operation, and then adjust as necessary, depending on the door thickness, is what you're dealing with. Once you determine all that, simply screw this to the frame. Okay, you're in good shape. Get this, have somebody help you hold the door, get this attached, get it in the closed position. Now keep in mind, this will all be loose, and the door is just going to want to naturally, the weight of it will want to take it down like this. You're going to shim it, margin it up, then take your tension rod, turn that clockwise, insert a tension pin, okay, and do it evenly on both tension collars. You know, so if you're going to adjust it to 2 holes on each tension collar, you're going to want to be at the same circumstance on the other tension collar. You don't want the door to be swinging too far in and then the other spring not having the right amount of tension to retard, you know, the path as it goes through the opening. If you're setting this up in a pair of doors, you know, you're going to need to keep in mind that those 2 doors are going to potentially be doing this. Maybe increase your margin an additional 1/8 of an inch. Again, resolved if you're going to radius the door styles over. If you've got a door that's a bit heavier, you might find that one hinge up at the top is simply not sufficient, and you'll know that because the door will not return to center very properly. It might not return to center at all. The door actually might, as it's swinging because of the weight, it might actually take an oval sort of path through the opening because that so much of that weight is pushing the door out and then causing, if you've got a pair of doors, to hit, or if you've got a single door, for that door to slam into the jamb a little bit or at least make contact with it. So if that's the case, and you really should not be exceeding, I would say, 3 holes up at the top, something in that range. Don't want to over-tension these to try to cheat yourself into the capacity of handling another hinge. You're far better off having a 3rd hinge, backing the tension off, sharing the load between the 2 hinges at the top, and doing it that way. Only a couple 3 inches between the top 2. That's where all the work is really being done. So the rest of the description: box of 2 hinges, 4-inch size, 7/8 inch and a 1/4. They call it polished brass US 3. That is certainly just a typical sprayed brass finish. Very, very attractive. Nothing wrong with it. Okay. Adjustable tension, and that link to the instructions is down below the link to this video as well. Those instructions are going to be included, okay, with your package, and if they're not, you can refer to them right there on the website. Ultra is a comprehensive provider of builder's hardware material, not only double-acting spring hinges and door stops and things of that nature, exit devices, door closers, lock sets, but a comprehensive offering of things like cabinet hardware as well. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer page where you can review the entire 200-page catalog from Ultra, and I encourage that you do so at least that you're aware of what they offer down the road. Having the ability to source the material is really sometimes most of the battle. Any questions on the Ultra Hardware 35595 double-acting spring hinge set? or any other Ultra product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.